All right, so this is a video, I guess, specifically for a Patreon of mine that wanted to get some parts for a 5-inch build and didn't want to wait a long time. Just wanted to get everything really quickly. So, I mean, when you want to get stuff really quick, you go to Amazon, and if you have Prime membership, you can get stuff within a few days, which is kind of nice. So this is going to be basically for those of you guys that are in the US and have Amazon Prime and are itching to build a 5-inch freestyle FPV drone and want to get the parts really quick, because I know these days parts are difficult to get a hold of. Sometimes you have to wait a long time, but if you just want to build something really quick, this is the list of parts for you. So let's start off with the this frame here. Now, some of these parts here I've done reviews on before. If I have, I will link those in the video description. If not, then I'll just give you my sort of assessment based on some other similar parts that I've reviewed in the past. There's so many similar parts these days, so there's not a lot of differentiation out there. But this frame I have reviewed. It's a good frame. I like it. It flies pretty well. It's the Speedy FPV 5-inch True-X freestyle frame. It's about $60. Now, of course, on Amazon, everything costs a little bit more. You get that Amazon markup. That's the price you have to pay if you want to get stuff really quick, for those of you guys that are impatient. If you want to get stuff cheaper, order from Banggood, wait, a month for the parts, or AliExpress, order stuff from China. If you don't, if you want some, stuff for, sometimes 20-25% cheaper, but you'd have to wait sometimes 2 to 4, maybe even 6 weeks sometimes for parts to show up. So this is, again, for those of you guys are more patient, want the parts faster, but willing to pay more for it. Yeah, so not much more to say about this. I'll link the review to this frame down in the video description. It's a pretty good frame. I'm still flying it. So this is one I would recommend. There's tons of frames out there, so obviously you can substitute something similar for less if you want, but this is one that I would go with. For the stack, not a lot of choices on Amazon for a decent stack for a 5-inch. So most of them are going to be like 30 by 30 stacks, which is what I recommend most of the time for a 5-inch with like 23 or 6 motors, which is what this build is going to be coming with. This one here is from iFlight. I don't think I've reviewed this specific one yet, but I've reviewed many other ones that are pretty similar. It's an F7 now, so most of the stacks are coming with an F7 flight controller now. MPU 6000. It's a BLE SESE 2 to 6S 45 amps. So you can see here it's got nice solder pads here for your wiring, and they're pretty big, nice big pads for your motor wires. You have plugs if you don't like solder a lot. They have all these plugs available as well, and they have, of course, wiring diagrams for all your different video transmitters and receivers, etc. Pretty typical of iFlight. So this one is pretty good. There was really not much on Amazon right now for flight stacks, and prices aren't super great. So you might be able to, go somewhere else and get something for cheaper. But this one here seems to be okay for this build. Next thing you need, of course, is motors for a 5-inch build. For most people, I recommend 4S. I'm kind of leaning more towards 6S because, more people will have 6S batteries now. But if you're kind of starting out, you probably have more 4S batteries. So, go with the 4S motors here, which are 2450 kV. If you have a lot of 6S batteries, do a 6S build, then you can get these motors in, I think it's 1700 kV for 6S. About $64 for these motors, which is not bad. It's for a set of 4. I think some of the newer ones, I think the Zing Pro V2s, which are still the newer version, I think are about $20 more for a set of 4. But these will perform totally fine. They're very good motors. And then, of course, for the camera, not a lot of great choices that come with Amazon Prime for the camera. This one has the Amazon Choice label on it. Runcam Phoenix 2 Micro. It's a good camera. I personally prefer the Ratel V2, but I couldn't find that for a reasonable price from Prime because I guess it's out of stock, and so there's some third-party sellers selling it for like $50, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, get this one here. It's $30, and of course it's in stocks, which is the point of the video. You want to get stuff pretty quickly. It's a pretty good camera. Video transmitter, this is the Speedy TX800. I've also reviewed this as well. I'll link this in the description down below. 800 milliwatts, plenty of power for most freestyle builds, $26. It's an all-around good analog video transmitter and a pretty good price. So really nothing to complain about this one here. And again, not a lot of options on Amazon for VTX. I don't know why that is. Usually some other stores will have a lot more, but again, if you want to get this quick, Amazon has this in stock right now. Okay, so for the VTX antenna, of course, I usually go with these Foxeer Lollipops. I use them a lot. They're up to version 4 now, which I actually am not sure if I have any of these yet or not. So 2 for $22. It'll get you going, and it's got, obviously it's not the absolute best antenna in the world, but it's not the worst antenna either. It's a pretty good antenna all around, and that kind of goes, for pretty much all these parts. Not top of the line specs, but it's stuff that I could find that's reasonably good and in stock, and you can get it pretty quickly. So that's kind of the whole point of the video. Okay, now, so all these parts is going to run you about $310, I believe, if I added up correctly, around a little over $300. I think about $310. If you don't like to build, I always recommend going with buy and fly. So this is the buy and fly, similar frame, similar motors. It's a 4S. It's a pre-built model from iFlight, the Nazgul 5 V2. I believe I reviewed this as well. It's got 2207 motors instead of 2306. I prefer 2306, but 2207 is fine as well. But you can see the price is much lower. It's $265. So you're saving more than almost it's like $45, $50, almost $50 off of doing a build, and you don't have to put the parts together. It's already built for you. And this one comes with a receiver too, which I didn't include in the parts list. An XSR receiver, of course, if you're flying other radios, Crossfire, whatever, Express LRS, you're going to probably want to swap that out. But yeah, for that price, really hard to beat. And it comes, it's available right now. You can get it tomorrow, March 4th, if you have Amazon Prime. So if you're looking for stuff, and I know a lot of you guys are having a hard time finding things, let me know down in the description if there's something specific you're looking for down in the comments, and I will try and help you out and see if I can find a place that has a specific part you're looking for and send you that link if you're interested. So I know that some other Patreons might ask me, can you do a video on just parts from race day quads or just parts from Pyrogen? If you're interested in that, let me know down in the comments. I could do something like that if you just want to buy from one store, or if you want a video on the best parts from each store in the US, or if you're international, for example, and you want just stuff from like Banggood or AliExpress, because some places you can't get stuff from the US shipped cheaply. Let me know that as well down in the comments, and if you get enough interest, I'll make another video later down the road. Okay, so hopefully it's gonna help you guys out. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.